regard. They have, doesn't look like I did a very good job of my spelling on here. Anyway, the course has a lot of piranha, and they have been spraying for it, but once the weather warms up, it'll disappear like it usually does. The greens are greening up, and with the warm weather we've had recently, and they will be aerating in about a month from now. As far as golf course, so far through the winter season, they've been to have 2 workers per day, and as the day goes longer and the course is open for more hours, it'll become necessary to increase it to 3 per shift. In the pro shop, tee sheets continue to be very full. They're continuing to optimize labor hours. All 2021 technical products, balls, and so on have arrived, and the new ladies and men's foot joys are here. Spoke a lot with Rob about what's going on in the maintenance of the course. They're spraying the herbicides, as I mentioned earlier, and to prevent other weeds from emerging. All signs were removed from the course. Tee markers, yardage markers, green markers. They've been sanding, staining, painting. They will all be back on the course with a nice, fresh new look by the time they open this Saturday. They've edged around all the thousands, probably, of sprinkler heads and repaired as necessary. Edging around them is not something they can maintain throughout the year because there's so very many of them, but they're getting it cut down, at least at the start. The cart path in the tunnel between 8 green and 9 tee box has been totally resurfaced. And yesterday morning, they had a demo of a system called Dry Jet, which etches kind of little troughs in the green and pushes the sand down into the green without disturbing the surface as much as punching them does, although punching is still necessary twice a year. They're thinking that they had it tried out on, I think, 2 different greens, and it looks like something they would like to plan on budgeting for on an ongoing basis, especially on the front 9, the greens on the front 9, because they're older and they don't drain as well. And the bridges on number 6, both bridges have been resurfaced. And again, they're focusing on spraying this week before the rain comes later this week. And that's it.
Perfect. Good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mr. Spencer?
I will try to be brief. That's what you requested. So the clubhouse has been under repair, as many of you know, with the addition of the extension of the outdoor patio off the bar. The bar area will be closed probably next week while they install new ceilings, ceiling tiles, and so forth. Most of the work will be completed by, I think, the 1st of April, maybe mid-April, the latest. In the pro shop, the sales are slightly above last year, even though what am I trying to say here? The last year's clothing has been liquidated and the new spring apparel is not in, and sales are slightly higher, exceeding monthly levels. The golf course is full and busy. They have 2 new employees have been added to the staff to help the outside. Fairways and greens, of course, are recovering from the winter. The greens are now recovering from the snow and ice and looking pretty good. The maintenance crew has been working on root pruning and stump grinding and along the golf course cart paths. The maintenance staff has also been working on building metal frames for the ice machines and water coolers that are going in on not only the Highlands, but Scottsdale and I believe Country Club too. The pre-emergent has began in April. A broken water line was repaired. And Greg believes the ice and snow before the bitter cold actually insulated the turf from too much damage. So that's about all from Highlands.
Thanks, Bill. I will also real quickly make a quick announcement for people to watch this after when they record it. We went 1 or 2 minutes early, so we weren't live yet, so we missed some of Sheila's report, but that was my bad. I forget we got to wait on other things.
Shame on you.
I know, shame on me. So apologize for that. We'll hopefully be live soon, where we're face to face and not zooming. So let's see. With that being said, who else got reports? Mark, you got reports, right?
Yeah, Dave, you got that?
Yeah, I got it. I got it here.
Throwing it off on Dave. Dave.
Yeah. Know what I've been looking guys. There you go. Well, let's start at the pro shop. The area, of course, was remodeled and looks fantastic. It's stocked with all new apparel and headwear, and they're ready for a strong season. Even with the weather, February was pretty close to the budget. Got a new full-time employee starting March 15th, Andrew Zimmerman. He's got a lot of golf knowledge and experience, comes from the Las Vegas area. And they're working on getting
it. Has the food show that he travels around. Is that the same guy?
You know, that I'm not sure.
No, Alex is saying no. Sorry,
and additional stars and staff are being hired currently for the expectation of a great golf season ahead. The bar area is open, ready for business. The new deck expansion has been completed. Looks awesome. The view it has over the 18th green there is one of the best views in all of Bella Vista. So with the additional seating and the expanded outdoor area there, I think it's going to be a tremendous advantage for Scottsdale. The course coming out of the winters in pretty darn good shape considering everything. The extra layers of protection covering the greens looks like they fared fairly well at this point in time, as best it can be examined. And again, the same thing they indicated with the snow and before those cold temperatures kind of helped things. So it was a good thing we had that snow out there. Golf cart cleanliness, all those things for COVID continue to be going. Like I say, the golf shop is ready to go. Maintenance, they're basically cleaning up things, and not much you can do. Nothing's growing, obviously, at this time of year. So the main thing is cleaning up any kind of debris around, and that's what they've been doing. So all in all, looking for a great year in Scottsdale.
Very good. Thanks, sir. Susan, Dogwood, Brittany.
Okay, Dogwood and Brittany. A little different story out there. During the cold weather, the fire suppression system sprung a leak, and there was 2 inches of water in the pro shop, clubhouse, and most of the rest of the building. Pretty quick response from the staff helped mitigate that, but there is a hole in the ceiling and damage everywhere. The clubhouse is open. They got open for the day and have been open ever since, but it doesn't look real pretty right now. On the general appearance of the course is really good for this time of year, reflecting the same things that others have said. But again, with the storm, there was a leak on the number 13 green. So they've set up a temporary green on the other side of the concrete path. So that's playing, I guess, as a par 3. But they have worked on repairing the damage and resodding that, and I'm sure will be closed for a while the sod comes in. So that was a little unexpected and put other projects a little behind schedule. In the pro shop, they're looking for a full-time replacement. There's been a request for a liquor license extension that would take the boundary of the liquor license out into where the top area of the parking lot is that we usually use for carts. But that should give us at Dogwood the same kind of environment that we have now at Scottsdale and Highlands. So that was good. The bathroom walls are painted. When I went out last week, the floor had not yet been done, but I'm sure that'll be done when the weather warms up a bit. All of the yardage markers are installed. the new yardage markers. And they've also corrected the drainage and removed the collar dam on the number 8 green. One other comment is the Metfield Extension Trail is almost done. We rode it on our bikes last week, and there were just a few spots. And it will be a fabulous addition to that area. And I think it will give us the opportunity to create a pub environment in the clubhouse there, just like we have at Scottsdale and Highlands for a neighborhood pub. And from other trails like the Applegate Trail, people will walk about a mile and a half to a destination and back. So I think for the area right around the clubhouse, that will give us a good revenue opportunity in the clubhouse. That's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Susan. Yeah, that's cool on the trails, and pulling another pub in. Like I know Highlands has been absolutely jam-packed the last few weeks, so that's great to see. Great to see. All right, thanks everybody for course reports.
You want Kingswood?
Oh, sorry, Gary. Yes, I knew that I was missing somebody. Yes, please, sir.
That's okay. I'm used to it. Well, everything's doing well in the shop. The shop is neat and clean and stocked, as everybody else has mentioned. It's stocked with the new merchandise. So nothing really new to report about the shop. Sales are going well. The golf courses, both golf courses are full when the weather permits it. So that's going well. Just a couple notes. The Reed reported that he didn't see a lot of winter kill on the golf courses this spring. Looking at him, and so he's encouraged with that. There's some work to be done apparently on the red tees on number 8 and 17. They're a little bit rough, so there's some work going to be done on those 2 tees. They replaced all the leased Jacobson equipment with John Deere equipment this year. So the only thing that they've got now down on lease basis is with John Deere. The restroom was refurbished. It's got new paint, new flooring, a seal around the edge, and they're planning to put an HVAC in there this summer to cool it in the summer and heat it in the wintertime. The number 7 bridge was resurfaced, so there's new wood planks in number 7. And they also poured a new concrete slab in front of the bridge going over to number 8T, where the big bump is. The bump is no longer there. So you can get it just one straight shot through. So that's going to be nice. And the last thing is there was a memorial bench on hole number 11 that was destroyed with a windstorm, and that's being replaced. They've contacted the people that donated it, and they're replacing that particular bench. Other than that, that's it.
Great. Thanks, Gary. Sorry for missing you. Okay. Anybody else? I don't think so. I think that was it. All right. We'll go ahead and go into staff reports. We'll start with Keith.
Jason, you can skip me if you want to. It wouldn't bother me at all.
Nope.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go a little out of order. There's a couple things that have come up since I gave you this agenda. I want to recognize Shane O'Neill, who's the assistant at Kingswood. He's probably in his 10 plus years in the village, worked at every golf course in some capacity over his time here. So he has a lot of experience. What he's been able to do now is he's gone through night school, online school, and he's received his basic turfgrass certificate. And by the end of this summer, he will receive his advanced turfgrass certificate. So that bodes well for him as other job opportunities come open. He'll be able to get in the right pile. We definitely would consider him here. He's done a good job. The other thing yesterday was the 340 project. That is still kind of a moving target, but I talked to the gentleman, Paul, who is going to be in charge of the construction. He told me that the RDOT people have not done anything yet because they're still waiting on confirmation for easements. So it's kind of on hold, but what he did tell me, they anticipate RDOT to send them something on the easements maybe as early as next Monday. Once they receive that, he will contact me, and we will have 7 days to do anything we need to do to get ready for them to start work on the tunnel extension, which is a small tunnel going from 8th to 9T. I know Daryl could speak to it, but we already have a plan in place on how we're going to route traffic, how I'm going to get my maintenance equipment over there, and what we need to get out of the way. So we're prepared, but it's just going to show up one day and you're going to see it. So keep your eyes out for information that we pass out. Daryl, you want to say something about that right now while you're on? No? Okay.
Is that going to be the Judson Crossway? So I could go over the road?
Yeah, they're actually what they're going to do. That tunnel is going to be about extended temporarily about twice as long as it is now. And then the temporary road will be built on the side of number 6T while they do work on the actual road itself, which means we will lose half of number 6T, the whole back half, for at least a year and a half, probably. So we've got plans on how to deal with that. And then obviously once the temporary tunnel is done, car traffic will be routed that way to get around all the holes. While the temporary tunnel is being worked on, we'll route it the other way from 5 to 6. So as I said, we have a plan. So we're ready for them best we can be. Let me talk a little bit about the possible freeze. I know everybody mentioned we do believe the snow did help. Minus 16 is pretty cold. But what I will say is the superintendents are all optimistic, and so am I. But it's still a little bit early. It's still March. You don't see a lot of green up yet, so you really can see damage later. So we're keeping an eye on that. That's general, like fairways and tees. I still anticipate we'll have some areas that we're probably going to be very slow and may need a little bit of sod work. But I wanted to speak specifically to the Bermuda grass greens because I know everybody gets a little excited about those. The snow definitely helped us out there at Scottsdale and at Brittany. What we've seen, we've looked at all the greens pretty closely. They're starting to green up. You see odd patterns on them. You'll see purple, and then you'll see a lighter color. The purple is what you want. That's starting to come out with leaves. The areas that are not purple currently, we've looked at, and there's a lot of green underneath. They just haven't had the opportunity to come out yet because the temperatures are they're in the shade or some other reasons. We do have 2 particular spots we're keeping an eye on that we have some concern about. It's the back of 2 Brittany, which we've had trouble with in the past, and the ridge on number 9 at Scottsdale currently are on our list to watch. With that being said, our covering program for the Bermuda greens is going to change from what it was in the winter too. We went from, bottom line lows and direct kill, winter kill worry to now we're going to start worrying about frost as the grass comes out. We don't want to ding it as it comes out. So I'm going to give you a little bit of how we're going to determine that. We're going to look at nighttime lows. And if we see 2 or 3 days trending, let's just pick today. Let's say if the weather today said it was going to be 44 tomorrow, 40 the next day, and 35 the next day, that would trigger us to need to probably cover. So there's very short notice that we can give because as of yesterday, it looked like we were going to, in those guidelines, we would have to cover next week. As of this morning, it doesn't look that way. So it's an adjustment as we go. We work with Golf Shop, but it is really imperative. And if you that we protect that new grass as it comes out because damage can happen after it comes out and you think everything's good. So we're going to watch that very closely. So that's kind of where we are on the possible impact of freeze. Anybody want to ask any questions right now while we have that? Probably appropriate.
I'm assuming that includes Brittany as well, right? Same
Yes.
program.
Yeah, it'll be a real similar program. Brittany's greens sit back in areas where they're a little more protected. Really, the back 9 of Scottsdale looks really good, real uniform. The front 9, where that wind blows across, they have odd looking patterns on. And you'll see that. And that's the reason I mentioned it, because I'm sure some of y'all, when you play, they're going to go, oh, well, you're on the golf committee. Tell me why this part's this color and this part's that color. It's just part of the process that happens like that every year, but we're watching that. 13 green dogwood. Is Tammy on or? Yeah, she's going to put up some pictures of 13. This is what it looked like when we found it with the water running across the pipe that blew out on the bottom part of the picture is where it blew out and ran down from the top part of the picture and ran down. Go to the next one. That's what it looked like when that was the damage that was done after most of it melted off. If anybody remembers, that looks a lot like what the front of what is now 17 green at Country Club looked like after the flood. So it's similar to flood damage in a way. So the leak was on the back. Then what we did is we started cutting the sod out and started cleaning the rocks out that washed in there and being sure the drain worked, and started putting topsoil back in. That's that phase. And then I have an updated picture from where they were at the end of the day yesterday. That is ready to be sodded, and they are starting to do some sod work today. Those little, what they call donut things back there, that's to keep this rain coming from washing across there if we don't have all the sod down. So that's to protect our surface. So that's a lot of effort to get from that first point to that point, but they have done a good job out there, Scott and his crew. And the bottom line is we hope to have that sod work done next week, but it's going to be tough with the weather, and they have greens aeration scheduled out there. So maybe the week after. At some point, we will open that green on the parts that weren't damaged and rope this off, we believe. But that sod will not be played on till at least into probably 1st of May in reality, because we learned a lesson on getting on sod too early with some of our other repairs we've done in the past. So that's where we are with that. I mentioned, and it has been mentioned, it had drill and fill schedule. That's at Scottsdale. That's at Dogwood next week. We will not be doing the entire course with the drill and fill because they also have to do conventional aeration, which takes time, and the weather doesn't look real good. Plus, they need to finish working on 13 greens. So they're going to do problem areas, cleanup passes, and a few selected greens during the week of being closed. Kingswood follows the week after. They will do all of their greens, both conventional and drill and fill, weather permitting. So that's where we are on our drill and fill. And then the other courses will be aerified in April, with the exception of Scottsdale. Scottsdale is done in the summer months, as you know. Status of projects. The route printer is out today. It's out on Burkesdale. It's going to make the rotation, get most of the cart pass and areas done. So that's a good thing. We appreciate being able to purchase that. We have some other equipment on order, top dressers on order for Bella Vista Country Club. The park mower to mow Burkesdale's on order. The contract was released for the engineer for the work on number 5 Creek at Bella Vista Country Club. And they have started. Craft and Toll was chosen, which was really good. They had the lowest bid, and then they were the ones that did similar work like that. They handled our Scottsdale Bridge project, so they're real familiar with that, the Creek establishment there. The engineering is starting now, but the actual construction won't start till after the tournament. In June, they won't have the engineering done to that anyway. So that project will be ongoing and not be completed till sometime late in the fall. The other major project we have out there is the tee box work for the red tees. And I've determined it's best with the 340 project at Bella Vista Country Club, the APT at both Bella Vista Country Club and Highlands. And then we don't really know how much sod work we may or may not have to do and how much sod will be available because our suppliers are in Oklahoma and they had colder weather than we did. So we're delaying those projects to sometime after July 4th on that capital project. I believe that is everything that I have to report. Thank you.
Thanks, Keith. Anybody have questions? No. Well, I'm making a note. All right, Daryl, roll.
All right, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to waiver off the agenda. I have a little bit going on. First of all, the 340 plans for Country Club, Keith alluded to earlier that we are ready. I have a diagram. You won't be able to see everything, but there are lots of red lines, crosses, and everything. So we do not shut the course down. Thanks, Keith, for working with me and Gary to get it all ready. So like Keith alluded to earlier, we don't know until they show up. But when they show up, we have plans. We have all the signs purchased to reroute car traffic. So we are 100% ready. Hopefully it's a little later on in the year and we'll be good to go.
Hey, Daryl, we may want to mention that the bike trail will be closed as well. So there won't be bike traffic interfering during this.
Correct. They're going to reroute the bike trail thanks to some good membership, allowing it to happen, and should be good to go. Trey's working on that as we speak. So good deal, Keith. Thank you. All right. If we can skip February rounds, how about that for this week, for this month? If we have a look, first of all, I'm going to go down the bottom. We had 18 days on average golf courses were closed due to snow, cold weather, ice, which left 10 days of actual golf. Some courses were closed 26 days. So we fell a little bit behind on the rounds by 870 rounds. But when we open, we're rocking. So they're the numbers. You can see it. We finished at 8,554, down by 870, as I alluded to. Range buckets are still up by 657. Once again, they were impacted as well because we couldn't pick any golf balls for about 10 days. So rolling on to that, let's hope we have a good March. We're already seeing the numbers projected to pass last year in March, which is good. Moving on to COVID. There's a lot of rumors going on right now, CDC and our governor going on about what's changing. Golf is not going to change right now. We are going to go day by day for the safety of our membership. Remember, we've got golf carts, and if you put people in a golf cart, double ride it, it's close, it's within 6 foot. So until they announce a phase 3, if there's even going to be called a phase 3 anymore, but once we feel safe and we get out there, we'll go back to some type of normalcy. We have had a lot of groups reach out to us in golf operations saying, hey, if we feel safe riding together, can we ride together in a golf cart? By all means, if you've been vaccinated and feel safe, just like family members, we encourage them to pair up. It helps the golf cart situation out dramatically. And then the day of, we can open up some tee times because of cart blocks. It will help. So if you feel safe, pair up as we move forward. We are not enforcing it. We are just suggesting it. All right, we're going to move on to Tanya Creek. If anybody's been down to Tanya Creek, they've seen some chicken wire on the grass. On Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we are on the grass. The team came up with a great idea to protect social distancing, put chicken wire down, and that way people can't hit off it. It is working, and the membership is extremely happy. So great job on the golf operations team for coming through with that, and LT and Hillary. It was fantastic. Just spoke with Gary from the APT, WAPT this morning. Sign-ups are moving along extremely well. He's looking forward to the event. We've got some stuff that's happening. We will still be doing a pro-am, and you will have a lady professional and a men professional, and then 3 amateurs. So you'll have a 5-some. So it's quite an experience. That is very unusual around on any of his tour to get to play with both. So it's kind of exciting. So I'm encouraging membership to enjoy that, sign up, get your teams together. So you're looking for 3 amateurs to play with the 2 pros. We've had a format change for the APT, WAPT. On the Wednesday and the Thursday, we'll be having mixed men and ladies at both locations. That'd be Highlands and Country Club on the Wednesday and Thursday. Friday and Saturday, everybody will be playing at Country Club for the last 2 days. As the men have a cut on Thursday, the ladies have a cut on the Friday after the Friday round for the final. So things are rocking along. I want to thank Kim and her team for keep sponsors coming in and the hard work they're doing. And get your signups in. If you know anybody who wants to get in that pro-am, it's going to be fantastic this year. It's our 5th round of it, 5th year with the APT, and the ladies' 2nd year with the WAPT coming in.
Daryl,
Mm-hmm.
on the 2 courses, we've got Wednesday and Thursday are going to be between the Country Club and Highlands. So the girls will play Wednesday at Highlands, and the girls or the boys at the Country Club, or how is that going to work?
I said, like I alluded to it, it's mixed. Everybody will be mixed for those 2 days, Gary.
Oh.
So you'll have boys and girls playing at both courses on Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay.
And that's kind of how they do it. That's one change that they implemented, and be good to go on that.
Okay.
But one more thing, it's not on the agenda. We put out to the golf groups possibly having a tailgate expo for the golf groups only, not for golf operations. Getting them out there, put a tailgate round down in Kingswood parking lot, and we just put it out there to see how many of the golf groups will be interested. We have not got a big participation. Groups that are saying we want to be in it, so we're going to cancel it. It's around the corner, but we are doing the golf group books, and they will be out the week of the 22nd of this month. So we weren't going to do a tailgate party if we only had 3 or 4 cars sitting there. We wanted everybody to participate to make it fun, but everybody with social distancing, and I think a lot of the groups are full. They decided not to. So we're going to cancel the expo. It was just an idea we threw out there, but the book will be out on the 22nd. And that's all I have on my side. Any questions for me?
Yeah, I'd like just to add a little bit about the APT and the housing. I've gone out with requests to all the housing, the hosts that housed a player last year, and the response has been, I mean, it's been unbelievable. So far I've got 42 beds committed right now for players, and I have another 30 or so that are still out there. So my goal is to try to get 75 beds this year to help house the girls and boys. And so if anybody knows anybody that would like to house a player, have them contact me so I can get them on the list. And if anybody here on the committee would like to house a player, I know Susan did, Tom has already responded, and Jason did last year. If you want to house a player, let me know so I can get you on the list and get that rolling with Gary. Is Pat still involved in that as well, Daryl Murphy at
Yes.
APT?
Yes,
Okay.
he is, Gary. And so he's rolling, and thank you for all your work on that part. That helps these pros out a lot. Thank you, sir.
I should talk to Pat or Gary about the setup, about how I get the names of the players that have signed up so I can start assigning them. But it's amazing the hosts that have hosted in the previous years, most of them, if not all of them, have requested to have their old players back if they do sign up and play. There's some that have followed their players around the tour after they've left here. They stay in touch with each other, and I've even had players call me and want to know if their host is going to be available to stay. So it's been really remarkable, the response that we're getting from the hosts and the players about this. So this is doing well. So I expect to have more, but if you know anybody, I can always use as many as we can. We've got about 270 or so players scheduled to play, and trying to get beds for them is important for them. So let me know what you can find out with your neighbors and friends and yourself if you want to participate. That's it.
Thanks, Gary. Anybody else for Daryl? Alex, let us know, bring us up to date on tournaments.
Tournament time. Thanks, Jason. So our first event of the year was this past weekend. It was the Couple Sweetheart Open. It was rescheduled from kind of the frozen weekend before, and we beat our temperature by about 60 degrees this past Saturday, so we did pretty well. Had a full field for this event, had 38 teams. I think everything went pretty well, and I believe everyone had a really good time with it. Heard a lot of good feedback. So first one is in the books and behind us, and we're off to a hot start. We got several more events coming up. Next on our list is the 3-person Scramble. That's on the weekend of the 27th and 28th at Highlands. And actually, the field's already full for that. We filled up just a few days ago and have already got a bit of a waiting list formed. So sign up has really gotten off to a hot start. The Shot in the Dark tournament, the night golf tournament that we have, that's over a month away. That's about in the middle of April. And actually that one is also full. We filled that one up yesterday or the day before, and we'll begin starting a waiting list for that one as well. That one has a little bit smaller of a field since we only use 9 holes for that event. Our 2-man summer series and the men's match play club championship, the new men's match play club championship, all that information is out and posted. You'll see information about it in all of our normal areas like our e-newsletters and flyers in the shops and whatnot. I've gotten a lot of interest so far, several signed up, and we'll keep plugging away and just communicating to our membership what these events are and kind of what they all entail. Aside from that, we're still, like Daryl said, we're still in the tee time mode and the single rider cart policy. and encouraging people to pair up if they feel comfortable in all of our events. But everything we have scheduled right now will be tee times until, I guess, further notice and things change with our COVID guidelines.
Hey,
And
Alex,
that is all I have for today. Yeah, what you got?
yeah, on the men's match play club championship, is
Mhm.
that going to be played on a certain week or weekend, or is that throughout the year? Or how's that going to work?
Gary, that's going to work very similar to the way we did the two-man summer series.
Okay.
We're going to let players create their own matches. I'll give the entire field contact information and a match bracket, and you'll contact who you got to play, and you'll have 1 month to play your match.
Okay. And the divisions, you got championship, senior, super senior. What are the age limits for the different ones, and how do you sign up for what division you want to be in?
So that's all through me. We don't have the web portal open for these because we're not taking payment until the bracket is actually set. I think I'll have a few players that attempt to qualify for a championship division that don't actually get in. So we've got a championship open division that's eligible for anyone at any age, 19 or up, any member. We've got a senior division that's 50 plus, a super senior division that is 60 plus. And if there's interest, we can even do a 70 plus division, depending on how many players I can get for each. And aside from that, there's a couple of net divisions too. There'll be a net open division and a net senior division that we will have as well.
Okay, great.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, the Sweetheart tournament was it was a beautiful day. My partner's making me do dishes for a week because I couldn't putt, but we won't talk too much more about that. So, Greg, I see you're on here. Does marketing have anything to go over?
I do not.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Tom.
Well, good morning, everybody. I wanted to give you a quick update. I was texting with Mike Taggart regarding the Metfield Clubhouse. We're still waiting for the results from the insurance adjuster who inspected the building. Mike suspects that the flooring in the building is going to have, or at least portion of the building is going to have to be redone. Definitely the ceiling. So we're probably looking at about 2 months until we're back to normal. I'm sure that Daryl is thrilled to hear that. But we'll get it done as quickly as possible. I asked for everybody's patience regarding COVID. Similar to last year, we were closing down and having to adjust as a result of COVID. Now we're kind of going the opposite direction as people are getting vaccinated. I asked for people's patience. I'm already fielding a lot of emails. We're too restricted. We're not restrictive enough. And it's kind of impossible to make everybody happy, but we're trying to follow the guidelines put out by the state. Want to remind everybody that the election is just around the corner. On March 16th at 6 p.m., we're going to have a Zoom Meet the Candidates. I encourage everybody to watch that. Also, they can go on to our website under Member Resources, and you can click and you can see candidate profiles, bios, and videos for each of the candidates. Do your homework, make an informed decision, and that's all I have to cover. Any questions? Great.
Thanks, Tom. Board liaison, Mr. Brandenburg, Ms. Sims. I think that's all we have on the board.
Daryl, Jason, I just have a comment. I have noticed being out on the golf courses that the fairways this spring, middle of March, are in much, much better condition. The mat of grass that is still there. So I want to, compliment the membership for driving in the rough, and I want to compliment Golf Ops for coming up with the idea to suggest that. I think it's made a tremendous difference in the quality of the grass that is still on the fairway at this late date. So kudos.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, I agree. Miss Jan, you got anything?
Nope, not today.
Okay. There is, moving right along, there's nothing, no emails from the public. We have no old business. Two things for new business. Changing the time back to 4 p.m. Starting next month. So we'll need a motion, second, and a vote on that.
Can I have a little bit of an issue, I think,
Okay.
and that's with tea times. We used to start at 8 or 9 or 10, right? Now many of our tea times are in the afternoon. Is there a way to push it back to, say, 5 o'clock?
For me, no. But I'd like to keep it at 4 so we can get done and be done. I know there's other from the board and Tom and Tammy. I know they're past 5 o'clock at a lot during the month with different meetings. So we like to get it done like around 5 so they can get out and actually have an evening. I appreciate and understand, Susan. I do. I don't know how much longer we're really going to be on tea times. I mean, hopefully that's going to change quickly.
Well, at least 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, if a tea time happens, as we all know, you can't ever miss because you're secretary, but you can, if you need to miss one every once in a while, you can.
Okay, I'll move that we change the golf meeting time to 4 o'clock p.m. until through October.
Okay, thank you. Second.
Seconded.
Who was that?
Is that Mark?
Mark, yeah.
Perfect. Any other conversation, questions, comments on that? And thanks, Susan, for bringing that up. If not, all in favor, aye, raise your hand.
Aye.
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 I don't think there's any nays.
No's?
No. No no's. Cool. So next month we will start, and we'll be TBD. I don't know if we'll be face to face or Zoom, but it's 4 o'clock next month. Awesome. The other thing is committee membership. We have 2 members that their terms are up. I have talked to both of them. Mark is agreed for another term, so we'll need to take a vote on if we want to keep him around. So we can so we can get it in front of the board. And Mr. Spencer is going to step down and step away and spend some time traveling with his lovely wife. So
And my dog has died now.
What's that?
I put my dog down 2 weeks ago, so I'm free to go.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I know you're looking forward to some time away.
I just hadn't put the wife down yet.
Good plan.
I got a feeling it's going to be the other way, Spencer.
I know.
This is recorded, Phil.
So we'll be looking for a new member. So if you know anybody, obviously have them fill out the form and get it to us. We've got a couple already, so we'll start going through that whole process. But if I could get a second or not a second, but a motion to keep Mark around, I guess, for another term, for 3 more, another term. We'll go with there, and then do a second vote for Mr. Mark.
I move that we keep Mark around.
I second.
I move that we keep him around.
Thank you.
Who was that
And a
that
second?
spoke? I'm
That
sorry.
was Dave DeGraff.
Dave, okay.
I'll second.
Second,
Who was that?
Gary Merge.
Gary.
Thank you.
Since we're Zoom, we'll just say, is anybody opposed?
No. Thank you.
All right, Mark. Appreciate you up and again, and we'll get that in front of the board this month so they can get their vote. And I'm sure there will not be a problem unless we pay them off.
All right.
I think that's all the new business. Does anybody have anything else?
I have just a question for Keith and Daryl. And that is on the practice putting greens at the courses, we just have pins stuck in the ground. Is there any reason we can't just put some holes there and take the pins out so we don't touch them?
Keith, I'll get to that. Gary, if you put a hole in there, you're still putting your hand in the hole to pull your golf ball out. And that does not meet COVID guidelines set by the governor.
But we're doing it on the course, aren't we?
Yeah, with the pool noodles and everything in it, so the ball doesn't fall in. We put some holes down at Tanya Creek with pool noodles in it, and those pool noodles were removed by squirrels, wind, and all sorts of other things, and then we went back. So it was a lot easier just to put the stakes in. It makes you a better putter aiming at a stake compared to a hole, and that's how I teach my lessons too. Aim at something smaller, that way you get to a hole it looks bigger. But as soon as COVID lets up, we will get back to that.
Okay.
Is that right, Keith? Am I correct on?
Yeah, normally we don't usually suck if we have stress in the summer months. So, but that's the reason we're not doing it now. The noodles won't stay.
Okay. Anything else? All right, next meeting is April 14th at 4 o'clock and will be TBD for now. And we will let everybody know if we're going to be Zoom or live. If nothing else, let's adjourn. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the windy day.
Thank you.
All right.